Good morning everyone, it's me Chandrakala here, and today we will start next portion of our 5th A. So in last class we have seen some basic concepts related with upthrust force, different conditions of floating and sinking of a body, and after that we derived one formula for upthrust force. That is, upthrust is equal to V rho g, or you can say weight of liquid displaced by body. In last class we have said that upthrust force depends only on the volume or the portion of the body which is inside that particular liquid. So that's why here we have written weight of liquid displaced by the body, not the complete weight, because it's not necessary that every time the body will be completely submerged into the liquid. Now our next topic is factors affecting upthrust. So as we have already seen the formula, so now we know the factors. You can include here 3 factors or you can include 2. The first one is, from here we know that it depends on volume of the body, but only submerged part. Again and again we are saying only submerged part of the body. And the second thing is density of liquid. Here you can consider the third thing, that is acceleration due to gravity. But generally when we perform an experiment, then for that particular place we consider acceleration due to gravity constant. Otherwise here we can say it is affected by 3 factors, that is volume of the body inside the liquid, density of that particular liquid, and acceleration due to gravity. Now sometimes we will say that the acceleration due to gravity is constant. That means for that particular place where we are performing the experiment, there g is constant. Next thing, rho can also be constant. That means if you are not changing the liquid, since density is the characteristic property, so if you are not changing the liquid, then it can also be constant. But randomly when we discuss, we say that it depends on volume inside the liquid and density of the liquid. Reason for upthrust we have already seen in the last class. We have seen that due to difference in pressure, a difference in force also take place, and that difference in force give rise to upthrust force. And now we are discussing effect of upthrust. So the effect of upthrust, if I will write in one word, it will be loss in weight. That means some amount of weight is reduced. But here we have to take care that there are 2 words. One is weight and one is apparent weight. Or in other words, during numericals you will get 2 things. One is actual weight and one is apparent weight. So here the loss in weight is only apparent. It's not actual. That means actually the weight of an object cannot decrease or increase at a particular place, because we know that weight is equal to mg. So that means for a particular place you are saying that g is constant and m is automatically constant if the body is moving with a speed less than 10 raised to power 6. So that means both these are constant. That means weight at a particular place will be constant. But apparent weight, that means the weight which we will feel if we are having a body. Suppose here we are having liquid. If the body is here, then it will have some particular weight, suppose 50 gram force. But when it is submerged into the liquid, we will not feel 50 gram. The actual weight of the body will be 50 gram force, but we will not feel it 50 gram force. We will feel less than that. And how much less, that depends on the upthrust force. Because after reaching inside the liquid will exert one upthrust force, and whatever it will be, but it will reduce the value of your weight, since both the forces are in opposite direction and force is a vector quantity. That means upthrust cause loss in apparent weight, not weight, but you can write here apparent weight. So we will take care of 2 things. One is actual weight of a body always remains constant, and one is apparent weight. That means if we will feel some loss in the weight. After that, here on the same concept, one example is given, that is, if we are lifting a bucket full of water from a well or any water body which is having some depth, then we can experience that for some time we feel that body lighter. and after some time suddenly the weight of that body increase. That means we have to apply, if you are taking out a bucket of water with the help of a pulley, then for some time until this bucket of water will reach up to the highest level of water, it feels lighter, because until it reach here, in that duration it will also feel one upthrust, and that upthrust has decreased the value of weight. So you have also have to apply less force. That means it feels easy. Whereas as soon as this bucket will cross this liquid area and it will come to air, then here no doubt upthrust will be there due to the gases, but that will be negligible. So it will feel almost its actual weight. That's why after coming out of the water it feels heavier as compared to here, because here some amount of weight has been lost, whereas as soon as it reached here it get back its original weights. That's why it's easy to move it inside the liquid as compared to outside. Okay, then one more thing is given here, one example regarding the spring balance. That is, they are saying that if we will measure something in presence of air and if we will measure something in vacuum, then both the things will, that means both the weights will have some difference, obviously, because in presence of air there will be somewhat upthrust force, no doubt negligible, but still it's not zero. So that means there is some amount of upthrust because of which we get a slightly less value of weight. Whereas if you will carry out the experiment in the vacuum, there is nothing to create upthrust or apply upthrust. That means here you will get the actual weight of the body with the help of spring balance. After that we have a very important topic, and that is Archimedes principle. So as we have already seen here, that is, here we are saying that upthrust is equal to weight of liquid displaced by body, and this is known as Archimedes principle. That means whenever any solid body is immersed into fluids means gases and liquids, one force acts on it in upward direction and opposite to weight, and that upward force is known as upthrust force, and it is equal to weight of the liquid displaced by it. That means already we have discussed in the last class that upthrust will be exerted on the portion which is inside the liquid, and if the solid body has to sit or has to immerse inside the liquid, first it has to create this much vacuum space, it has to displace these water molecules and has to create this much space to adjust itself. That means upthrust will be acting according to volume of the body inside the liquid, and the body will displace the liquid equal to its volume inside it. That's why we are saying here weight of liquid displaced by the body. That means in Archimedes principle we include two things: all the fluids exert one upthrust force on the solid bodies immersed into it. Solid bodies immersed or submersed, whatever you want to write down, you can write down submersed into it, and it is equal to weight of displaced liquid, or in other words you can say equal to volume of body inside the liquid only, not the complete volume. If it is completely submersed then okay, otherwise the volume of the body inside liquid. Okay, whichever language where you feel that you will not get confused, you can use it. So that is known as Archimedes principle. Now here two experiments are given to verify Archimedes principle. So the first experiment given is, we have here two experiments. Experiment number 1. In experiment first, what we have done, we have taken a beam balance or physical balance, and with the help of that physical balance we have suspended two solid cylinders. Okay, that means what? We are having two cylinders. Now one more thing is there. This is cylinder A, this is cylinder B. Cylinder A is a solid cylinder, whereas cylinder B is a hollow cylinder. But volume of both cylinders are equal and they are kept on one side of the beam balance. You have seen beam balance and physical balance. That means you know that it will have two sides, one here and one more we are having here. On one side we will put our object which we want to measure the mass, and on another side we will put some weights to balance it to get the measurement, standard weights. So that means on one side you have kept two cylinders of same volume, but the thing is one is solid cylinder and one is hollow cylinder. Okay, we have kept them on one pane, and then this side we have kept some weights, and then when both the panes come in the equilibrium state, then we will stop putting the weight. Suppose that weight was 50 gram force. That means now the weight, or you can say the mass of both these cylinders is 50 gram force. Now if we will put a water can or container here, and if we will completely immerse this cylinder, solid cylinder A inside the water, but the thing is this cylinder should not touch the bottom of the container or the side of the container. You have already learnt in units and measurement that it will decrease the accuracy of your measurement. Okay, we will not get any accurate value. So for that it must be only holding inside it, but it should not touch anything except this water inside it. So as soon as we have kept this cylinder A inside the liquid, suddenly we noticed that this side of the pane has moved in the downward direction, whereas this has been moved in the upward direction. Before this it was in the balanced state, that means both were at the same level, but now this has moved in the downward direction and this has moved in the upward direction. That means what? That means the weight is more and this is less. So suddenly how it has happened? That means you have not made any change. Initially also you were having only these two cylinders and you have weighted it, and this time also you are having the same thing, you have not changed anything. Then suddenly why the weight of this arrangement has decreased? The reason is upthrust applied by water. Because of this, there is decrease in the weight, because we know that upthrust will decrease the weight. Initially 50 gram force was exerted in downward direction, but now there will be some upthrust force, let it be 20 gram force, then the net weight is now only 30 gram force. That means the weight of the object has been decreased due to the upthrust. So first thing is clear from here that all the liquids exert one upthrust force which decrease the apparent weight of the body. First thing, that means up to here we have done. Next thing is then how much. So the thing is, since you are having this cylinder B as a hollow cylinder, so now due to this water your weight has been decreased. So now what you have to do, we will start putting some water in this cylinder B, and we will notice that as this cylinder B will be completely filled with water, that your beam balance will come again to the balanced position. That means again the weight or the mass shown by this will be 50 gram. Okay, so that means what? That means the liquid displaced by this A is equal to liquid kept in cylinder B, since both were having same volume. So how much volume of water has decreased here, that much volume you have kept here back. So that's why it has come back to its original state. So that means what? We have learned from here two things. As soon as any solid body is submerged into the liquid, then one force acts on it which decreases its apparent weight, and next thing, the apparent weight is equal to its volume. Here decrease in the weight was due to the volume, and as soon as you have filled that much volume again on this arrangement, your beam balance has again come to the same balanced state. This is the first experiment. Now we will discuss the second experiment. One more experiment has been given here for the same reason, and in this experiment we have taken one spring balance. That means you know that spring balance will give you what? give you weight. And we are having here one solid body, that means any solid object we have suspended with the help of the spring balance. Since this is the spring balance, obviously it will give you weight. Now one more thing we have done, suppose here you are getting its weight as 100 gram force, or in your book it's given 300, so let it be 300 gram force. So if the weight of this solid body is showing here 300 gram force, then after noticing or mentioning this weight, we have submerged this solid body into a liquid. Then suddenly we see that this weight shown by the spring balance has been decreased, and now it has become 200 gram force. That means some amount of weight has been lost, and you know why it has been lost? Due to upthrust. First thing is clear that as soon as the body will be submerged into the liquid will exert one upthrust force which will be opposite to weight. So that will balance the, that means that will decrease the apparent weight of the body. Next thing, here we have taken one Eureka can. So Eureka can is actually nothing, but it is having one opening here which is known as a spout. Opening means up to here we have filled the water. If you are having one opening here, this is your container, up to here we have already filled the water, and then we have submerged this solid object inside the water, this water. Now as you know that if this solid object has to adjust itself inside the liquid, it has to make this much space here, that means equal to its volume. So if it has to make space for itself, initially there were water molecules, now it has to displace those water molecules, and when the water molecules will be displaced, then obviously these three sides has been closed, so the water will move in upward direction, and as soon as it will cross this line, here we are having one opening, so it will move out of that opening. Here we have kept one measuring cylinder or measuring container, that means it's a same container which you are having in your chemistry lab for measuring some values. Here volume is written, that means if you have to measure any particular liquid, then here if it is written 10 ml, 20 ml, or it can be 100, 200, 300, it's just as your scale. So that means accordingly it is having the measurements. So as soon as this water will cross this level, this water will start falling inside this measuring container. And the final observation was here, up to here if the water has been filled, and when we saw the marking here, we got here 100 milliliter. That means what? That means the water here you are getting is actually 100, that can be milliliter or centimeter, that depends in what units you have taken here. So if it is centimeter cube, since it will have the volume, and here loss in mass, or you can say weight, that is also 100 gram. I am writing gram because here we have taken weight and now we are talking about mass. That means here the volume you have got is 100 centimeter cube, and here the mass got is 100 gram. You know that density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Since we are taking everything in CGS, that's why here I have not taken this milliliter. Since we are taking everything in CGS, so here the density has been also taken in the CGS. Now you know that density is equal to mass upon volume, therefore mass is equal to density into volume. Here density is 1, volume is 100, so that is equal to 100, and your mass is already you are saying 100. That means what? That means whatever mass or weight loss in the weight you have lost here, that you have gained here. That means the upthrust exerted is equal to liquid displaced by it. So only 100 centimeter cube of liquid has been displaced here in another container. That's why here we are getting 100 centimeter cube. Here the units can be different, that depends on your measuring container or cylinder. Okay. So that means after discussing these two experiments, we know that all the liquids exert one upthrust force, and that will decrease the apparent weight of the body, and that will be equal to liquid displaced by that particular body when it will move inside the liquid. Now we have one more topic which we have already actually discussed. Same thing in the terms of density actually we have to discuss. That means we have already discussed that if the weight of the body will be more than upthrust, then the body will sink, Along with that, we are saying that the weight of the body will be V rho G. V means complete volume. From where it is coming? You know that weight is equal to mg. Okay, this we already know. And this mass can be written as density into volume. If density is rho Vg, that means weight of a body is also equal to V rho G. But the thing is, this V means complete volume of the object, whether inside or outside. So instead of weight, I have written V rho G. Okay, and here now this FB upthrust, this we have already discussed, V rho G. That means the volume inside the liquid and rho and G. But here two things are there. First thing, if the body is completely submerged into the liquid, then both the volumes will be equal, because the complete volume of the object has been submerged into the liquid. So upthrust will also be acting on the due to the complete volume. So these V's can be different or can be same. That depends on your condition, whether the body is completely submerged into liquid or has already sinked at the bottom or floating on it. Okay, next thing, this density is the density of solid body. That means this solid body. So I can write here rho S, solid body, and this is the density of liquid. G are same. Now you are saying that W is greater than FB. W is greater than FB. So from here we can derive that rho S is greater than rho L. That means the density of the solid is greater than the density of the liquid. If density of solid is greater than the density of the liquid, then the body will sink into it. Here I have considered both these V's same. Why? Because if the body will be inside, means sinked inside the liquid, then the upthrust will be due to complete volume. So this is one condition. Nothing is different, only here we are explaining in terms of densities, and there we explained only in terms of upthrust and weight. Similarly, we have some more conditions. If the weight will be less than upthrust force, then the condition is obviously floating, and you will say that V rho Sg is less than V rho Lg. So from here again you will derive one conclusion, that is, if the density of solid is less than the liquid, or if the liquid is having more density, it can exert more upthrust force and your body will be floating some portion outside the liquid. And the third condition is again W is equal to FB. That is again one of the condition of the floating. The body will be completely submerged into the liquid and floating. So here again you will use the same thing, is equal to V rho Lg. So again you will say that if the density of the liquid is equal to density of solid, then the body will be floating, completely submerged into the liquid, partially submerged into the liquid, and sinking. So these are in the terms of densities. Rest of the things we will see in next class. Thank you.